Today we're going to look at some eBay dropshipping stores, and I'm going to show you what these sellers are doing right and how they can improve. Hopefully as you watch this, you learn something that you can then apply to your own store so that you can make more money with eBay dropshipping. So this is the first eBay dropshipping store right here, and I'll show you in a minute how I was able to find this. But I first wanted to point out some of the things I really liked about this store that I think they're doing well. First, I appreciate the fact that when you actually go to their storefront, they actually have some sort of branding here. The name of the store is Shop Prime Store. They have this little logo right here, and they have this banner art up top. This only takes a few minutes to do, and I think it actually helps your store quite a bit. Later on, we're going to look at some other stores that don't have this, and I think it's a mistake not to just spend a few minutes like on Canva doing this for free and then just upload these just to have some sort of branding in there. Now, they've done some extra work here that I just don't think is necessary. What they've done is they've broken down their store into different categories. And in general, I just don't think that's really worth your time. This right here is your eBay storefront, and usually buyers are not going to navigate to this storefront. When people are looking for items, what they're going to do is they're going to search, like I did right here for Halloween decorations, and they're going to look through the different search results that are available on this page. That's how people shop. What they don't do is they don't click through, go to the seller's store, and then start looking around here. It does happen, but it is rare. That's why I say, hey, spend a few minutes to add a banner up here and a logo, but I wouldn't do any more than that. I think putting them into different categories is just kind of wasting your time. All right, let's actually look at some of the items that this person is selling. So we can see their newly listed items right here. I'm recording this at the beginning of October, and what I'm happy to see is that they do have Halloween items listed in here, and they've already started to list Christmas items as well. Any sort of holiday that is big, like Halloween, like Christmas, you want to get on that early, especially when it comes to Christmas, because Q4 is when you can make a lot of money with dropshipping, but you have to be prepared for it by adding your Christmas items into your store early. And October is when you should start doing that, so you do have plenty of products. And people start buying stuff in November, even late October. So I'm really happy to see that this person did this. They've also listed up quite a large variety of different Halloween stuff, which I'm happy to see as well. So normally when we're doing product research for eBay dropshipping, I like to use a software like Zeek Analytics. And what Zeek Analytics does is it will actually show you items that people are selling, and it will show you how many times that item is sold in the past month. So for instance, I've scanned this seller's store, and it's telling me that like this pumpkin yard flag is sold 17 times in the past month. This Halloween decoration is sold 15 times. But a lot of the other items are just generic everyday items, like these hangers, which have sold 11 times, this bathtub mat, which is sold 11 times. So this is really helpful when you're looking to sell these items that aren't seasonal, that will sell all year long, like these shower mats and like these hangers. What unfortunately happens for new sellers is that they don't realize that a lot of these Halloween items, by the time they see that another seller is selling them, it's getting too late for you to sell them as well. So right now, these items are just starting to sell. So if you're seeing this and you're just starting to add Halloween items into your store, it's getting to be too late. So that's why you kind of have to get the jump on it and list into your store different Halloween items before they start selling. So before you have the data on which ones are in fact selling. So I have another video I did recently all about how to do that. I'll put it up in the card at the top if you want to check out how you can kind of get ahead of the curve when it comes to these more seasonal items. But returning back to the seller store, I am happy to see that they've added quite a bit of variety when it comes to different items and different price points as well. So this seller has already a lot of sales history. They're already doing pretty well. By scanning their store in Zeek Analytics, I'm able to see that they're doing like $13,000 a month in sales. So they have some momentum going. When you're first starting out, you primarily want to sell cheaper items, which this seller certainly seems like they've been focusing on for the most part. But as you start to ramp up, and especially as you get into quarter 4, you want to start listing those more expensive items, which is a good thing that this seller is doing. Like these $60 items. We see a few of these, like this $65 one, this other $60 one. That's what you want to start focusing on, because that's where you're going to get higher profit per sale. And as quarter 4 comes, just people are going to spend more and more money. And as your store gets better reputation through feedback and through sales history, eBay is going to send you more sales, even if the items are more expensive. So coming into an individual item right here, let's take a look at what they're doing here. So they have really great images here that were copied from the supplier. So they're high quality images. What I'm not happy about though is that you have not maxed out the number of listings that you're able to upload. You want to upload as many listings as eBay allows, which is currently 12 of them. And the cool thing is that if you use a software like I use, AutoDS, if it only has, like 6 images or so, maybe 7 images from the supplier, it will actually duplicate the images until you max out the total amount. So that's what you want, because eBay rewards you when you have more images. So this seller needs to be adding more images or duplicating images so that they have the total amount that eBay allows. Coming over here, we see free expedited shipping, which is great. The faster the shipping that you can offer, the better. And they offer free 30-day returns, which is exactly what you want to offer as a seller on eBay. That's going to help you rank higher. You don't want to go any less than that, because you will rank lower in the search results. And you don't want to do more than 30 days, because then it'll get tricky for you to return your items to your supplier. You should also be offering, in my opinion, free shipping, or seller pays for return shipping. It's the same thing. And that's because your supplier, this seller is primarily using Amazon, it seems like. Your supplier is going to be offering you free returns anyway. So if a customer bought this and wanted to return it, all you have to do is go over to Amazon and say, hey, I want to return this. Amazon's going to give you a free prepaid return label, which you can then give to the buyer, who will then ship it to Amazon for you. Amazon refunds you, you refund the customer. It's very, very easy and hands-off. So you might as well pass that along to the buyer so that eBay then ranks you higher in the search results. Coming down here into the actual description, I see that they do have some item specifics, but a lot of them say does not apply. That is going to hurt your listing. So eBay requires you to have these item specifics, and you are allowed to put in there does not apply. It's kind of like an easy way out to not have to worry about it. However, the more item specifics you have that are real, not just does not apply, the better your item is going to rank in the search results. So all these things combined are going to be helpful for you to have. So if you wanted to boost up your sales, it would be worth it to spend a few moments to do that. So this is the description from the seller. Now, normally I am more of a fan of just like plain text descriptions. I think they're more easily searched by eBay. This one's not too bad because it does have a lot of the plain text. However, there is a problem with it. So this seller put some code in here which doesn't allow me to highlight or copy the text. Now, sellers do this sometimes because they don't want other people finding out what they're drop shipping. So if I saw this item that this seller is selling and I saw, hey, this person's selling it well, I want to find this item on Amazon or wherever to sell it myself. The easy way of doing that is frequently just to copy down this text right here and search for it on Google. Now, I can't do that right now because of the block they've put in here. What that's also done is that doesn't allow eBay to scan this text either. And we believe that if once eBay is able to scan this text, they're able to see all the keywords that you include in here, and that helps you rank as well. So generally, I'm not a fan of putting in this little code that will block eBay from actually scanning your text or from anyone highlighting and copying it. And it's kind of silly anyway, because if I wanted to find this item, I can still do it without having to copy down this text. I can just search for the image or for the title to actually find this item. But this seller is doing a lot of things right, and they're making a lot of sales, which is great. They're starting to sell some Halloween items, which I love to see. They're selling the more evergreen items as well. You never want to concentrate on just seasonal items like Halloween items. You want a lot of these items that sell all year long, like these bath mats and these hangers, because those are going to be put in your store. They're going to sell, and after the holidays are over, they're still going to continue to sell. These Halloween items, they're going to stop selling once Halloween comes. So it's great for that time period, but you also want these evergreen items as well. Let's take a look at this seller's feedback. So we can come back over here, and actually, where was it? Yeah, let's come over here and come to their feedback. And they have a lot of positive feedback, so my guess is that they are asking for feedback, which is great. But let's look at some of the more recent negative feedback that they got. Because as much as possible, of course, you want to avoid negative feedback, and you also want to try to have your negative feedback removed if you can. There's a few ways you can get negative feedback removed. One way is if you actually reach out to the buyer and work things out with them and then ask them to revise it. Or you can contact eBay and say, hey, there's a reason this feedback should be removed. So let's see what's going on here. This one said, this item arrived very late and I wanted my money back. The item is a piece of garbage. So this one I would actually report, because what they're doing is they're leaving a review for the product, not for your store. And there's actually a separate place to do that. This one's a bit borderline because they also said the item arrived late, but it'd be worth a shot to try to get rid of it. This person said the item was delivered, but I did not receive anything. Tried reaching out to seller, but no response. So that's a bad sign. You always want to be responding to customers' questions. If you can't handle all the questions you're getting, then you want to hire a virtual assistant to help you with it, because this is really important. These are the things that you don't want happening to your store. They can hurt you. They can lead to negative feedback. They can lead to defects on your account that you want to avoid. And there's a few other feedback like that as well, that they left messages and got no response. So that's not what you want to happen when you're dropshipping or selling at all on eBay. Before we move on to the next seller, I wanted to let you know that I've put together a free ebook that I call my eBay Dropshipping Secrets ebook. This goes over everything I know about eBay dropshipping and how you can get started, like an A to Z guide. And you can get this completely for free. All you gotta do is click the first link in the description down below, enter in your email, and you'll have this sent to you within a couple of minutes. So definitely check this out. It's free for you. And there's a ton of great resources in here if you want to get started with eBay dropshipping. All right, let's take a look at the next seller right here. So this seller's store name is Tim's Hardware. And right away, I have a couple of issues with this seller's storefront. So first of all, they've decided to name their store Tim's Hardware, which really niches them down. Now, when you're selling on a marketplace, you don't want to niche down. You want to stay as broad as possible. And that's because as a marketplace, again, when people are searching for an item, all they're doing is putting in here like Halloween decorations. They see this. They don't care if your store name is Zong or Million Share or if it's Tim's Hardware. As long as it is the right item that they want at the good price and everything else checks out for them, they're going to buy it. So I don't think it's worth it for you to niche down into just one category. It's not like someone's going to come in here and say, oh, I'm only going to buy this multi-purpose polish if this person only sells hardware items. If they also sell Halloween decorations, well, then I'm not interested in them because obviously they're not serious about hardware and DIY and all that sort of stuff. That's not how people work. It's not how people approach buying on eBay. So I wouldn't niche down like that. Again, the name of your store, it doesn't matter too much, but a bad name, I think, could hurt you. But so that's why I'm not like hung up on this, right? Tim's Hardware, if you want to keep it like that, that's fine. But I wouldn't just sell hardware. I would sell all types of items, whichever types of items a software like Zeek Analytics is telling you is doing well. Now, what I also don't like is that you don't have a banner up here and you don't have a logo. Again, it just takes a couple of minutes to do that. you might as well do it, even though very few people are actually going to visit your storefront. But if they do visit, they're just going to look for a second. They're going to see, oh, this storefront looks professional, and then they might actually purchase from you. But it would be worth it for you to just spend a couple of minutes on Canva creating that artwork. Now, coming in here, I'm happy to see that you didn't do what the other seller did, which is you didn't break it down into different categories. So that way, when people land here, they see the products right away. And that's what you want. If they happen to come to your storefront, you want them to be able to see your products right away. Now, there's a good chance this person is just drop shipping from Home Depot, which is probably why they named their store Tim's Hardware. Let's look at an actual product here. So this is some sort of cleaner. Again, you did not maximize the number of photos. You definitely need to be doing that. I also see here that you have multiple quantity available. Now, for new sellers, generally speaking, you want your quantity of the product to be 1. There's a few reasons for that. One of them is because if you have low selling limits, then that's only going to count once against your selling limit. If you have like 10 available, then that's going to count as 10 against your selling limit. So in the beginning, you want to focus on adding more products so that you get data on what items are doing well, because product research in the beginning will be a little bit difficult for you. But once you have a high limit and you know that certain items are popular, it may be worth it for you to increase your limits, especially for certain items. So an item like this, it might be, you might figure out that people want to order multiple of these at once. So you would increase the quantity. Some other things, like if you're selling a bedside table, people usually like to buy 2 of them, 1 for each side of their bed. So you might want to offer that in multiple quantities as well. This seller has some experience. They are doing about $19,000 a month in sales. So they have experience. They know which items are selling well and people want to buy multiple quantities of. So I think they're in good shape in terms of that. Now let's see what else they're offering here. Free shipping and free returns. That's awesome. Again, that's what you want to see. They also have fast shipping as well, though this one is standard shipping. Again, the last seller was drop shipping from Amazon, so maybe they're able to offer free shipping, expedited shipping. But if you're drop shipping from Home Depot, the shipping's not going to be as fast as that. Let's come down here to the description. So again, this is a pretty plain text description. You can see this one I can actually highlight. All it has in here is one image of the item. So I'm very happy with this description, the way they've done it. I think it's very easy to read, and it's going to be easy for eBay to scan it as well. Let's take a look at the feedback the seller has. So this seller's a little bit more on top of it than the last one. They have 99.5% positive feedback, which is more than fine. But let's look at the most recent negative feedback and see if there's anything they could work on here. By the way, there is some neutral feedback. I don't really worry about neutral feedback. It doesn't help you, but it doesn't hurt you either. Unless it says something egregiously bad, I'm not going to worry about it. And even if it does say something bad, the feedback just gets buried. People don't look at the neutral. They either look at the positive or they look at the negative. I don't think people really look at the neutral. But let's look at the negative feedback. It says, my purchase was shipped 3 business days after purchase. Not a happy birthday for someone close to you. Okay, that one doesn't make any sense to me, because that seems like the correct timeline for when that should have been shipped out based on their shipping policy. I would have complained about this to eBay and said, hey, I shipped it out exactly when I was supposed to. They even admitted that, but they're upset about it. That actually makes no sense. This person got the wrong item, so the wrong color of the item. So you got to be careful about this when you're drop shipping, because a lot of times the items that you're selling will be available in different colors or different variations. And you have to make sure that when you're ordering it from your supplier, you choose the right one and the right quantity as well. So if this person ordered 5 of them, make sure you order 5 for this buyer. If they order a certain color, make sure you choose that color. You got to be on top of that. And it seems like this person didn't. Let's see what else. This item was not as described. So that's very vague. I would reach out to this to this buyer and say, hey, what's going on here? How can we make this right? Make it right for the buyer, have a return, and then ask them to revise the feedback to make it easy for you. The other thing I don't like that this seller's doing, this just jumped out at me, is that this seller is selling some Vero items. And that's a really, really risky move. So Vero is eBay's verified rights owner program. And these are certain brands that don't want you using their stock images and stock descriptions on eBay. If you use it, you can get penalized by eBay. They will sometimes shut down your store for a day, then 2 days, then 3 days. And if you keep abusing it, it can eventually result in a permanent suspension, although that does take a long time to get to that point. So basically, you want to avoid these Vero brands at all costs. Now, luckily, if you're doing product research with like Zeek Analytics, it will warn you, say, hey, this is a Vero brand, this is a Vero brand. And then if you try to list it with listing software, it will warn you, hey, this is a Vero brand, you shouldn't sell it. This person, I think, is playing with fire here. I think they're being really, really risky by selling these Vero brands. I would not be doing this because this is a way that you can really get in trouble with eBay and have a lot of problems and maybe even eventually a store suspension. So I would not be doing this at all. All right, there's one final store I want to look at right here, which is this seller right here. They have zero feedback. I don't think they've made any sales yet. I want to tell you why that is, what it is that they're doing wrong. So first of all, they don't have enough photos. We've talked about that. It also looks like they're using the exact same title that Walmart has given them. That is not what you want. You want to optimize this title for eBay. You want to fill with keywords that people are going to be searching for on eBay when they're looking for this item. Zeek Analytics has this built in. On the left here is a title builder. You can search in here the word like pillow, search, and it will tell you what people search for when they're looking for pillows. And these are the things you want to put inside your title. You don't want to use the one that's given to you by Walmart. Also, actually, I am happy they have two available because, again, people are likely to buy multiple of the same pillow. But look at all the stuff down here. They have a really long handling time of 6 days. That is way too long and is not necessary if you're drop shipping from Walmart like this person is. You can have a much shorter handling time, and this is hurting you. If you have these long handling times, you're going to rank lower in the search results, and there's this warning which people are going to see, and they're going to say, hey, that's going to take too long. I'm not going to order from this person. But this is the really bad one. It says, seller does not accept returns. That's unacceptable these days. You have to offer returns. There are free returns to Walmart, so you might as well pass that along to the buyer because it's going to help your store anyway. So there's a lot of things here that this seller is doing wrong that I'm just not happy about. So they've actually sold 5 items, but that's it since July, which has been several months ago, and it's pretty obvious why. As a reminder, you can get this free ebook at the first link in the description down below. Then if you found this video helpful, you may want to watch the last eBay store review that I did, which you can find by clicking right here. So click here and I'll see you there in just 1 second for more eBay store reviews.